You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, this morning, we are going to be talking about Lane Kiffin. Obviously, it's a huge story. There's how many programs / teams involved here? We've got Ole Miss, we got LSU, we got the University of Florida, and we got the New York Football Giants in the National Football League. Rhodes, really? Jackson Dart. I mean, it would make a lot of sense, a whole lot of sense, if you're the New York Giants, the next big offensive guy, a guy that, look, got an NFL job too young. Too young. But if I've got to watch Raheem Morris go out there again and be a disaster while I was pounding the table, what are you doing, Atlanta? The dude was a disaster already. Guess what? Disaster. Okay. So on Saturday mornings, I get up and I get dressed and I go for my morning walks. I go to the gym. I get a lift in. I finish up with yet another walk before I come home and get my ass to work because it's Sunday and the National Football League is on. Well, while I am doing all the said walking and lifting and all that bullshit, I turn on the Todd McShay show because they do a show, a live show on Saturday nights. Damn thing's still going at like midnight. And they're reacting to the day's games, and he unveils his own college football playoff ranking, Todd's. Todd. And, of course, Minch. Shout out Minch, right? It's a great show, all right? And as far as draft analysis, this is the guy I listen to. I like Jeremiah. I listen to him some. Unfortunately, I'm just to the point where ESPN, anybody involved over there, I mean, Phil Yates is okay, but Mel Kiper, it feels like Mel Kiper playing a character called Mel Kiper now. And McShay is the one that broke all the Shadur Sanders, spilled all that tea out there. We found out about the interviews, all of that. He hit it. He knew Shadur wasn't going in the first round anymore. Long before anybody else was trying to acknowledge that. He was like, this ain't going to happen. Well, we've got a couple of things involving Lane Kiffin, and they talked about Lane Kiffin last night. And I found this to be very interesting. There's all kinds of pundits giving their viewpoint of how this is going to go. A week ago, I thought he was staying at Ole Miss. I'm not going to lie. I just thought Lane's found his avenue. He realizes he can be the Nick Saban for the Ole Miss Rebels. But in the last couple of days, I'm like, no, I think he's leaving. So during said reaction show, towards the end, McShay, again, go subscribe, said the following.
Timing sucks. You have the number 6 team in the country, and you want these kids to realize it's a business. That the NIL has changed things, and you got to realize, and you hope they're all mature enough to handle it that way. But the timing of it sucks. That you have the number 6 team in the country at a school that has historically not competed for championships and has a real chance to make a run here. And we're waiting to find out whether or not the guy who's coaching that team is going to be coaching that team next year. And that
on Monday, I thought he was going back to Ole Miss. On Monday, I thought he was going back to Ole Miss. I no longer think that's the case. I think he will be the next head coach at LSU. I do want to say this, though, and I want to just hear me when I say this. I don't think he's made a decision.
No.
I want you to really hear that. I don't think Lane has actually made a final decision.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. He doesn't think Lane's made a final decision, but he thinks he's going to LSU. I think he's going to LSU too. Sucks for the kids at Ole Miss. It does. But this is a powerful pool. All right. LSU finalizing $90 million offer, $25 million roster cash for Lane Kiffin. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry, he's signed off on this offer. That's really, really hard to turn down. And we know we're not finding out anything till after the Egg Bowl, right? So let me bring you over here because I find this interesting. All right. Friday's developments came in the wake, and this is Friday's developments as in the emergence of this offer. All right. Friday's developments came in the wake of CBS Sports' Aaron Taylor believes that the Kiffin household moving truck is already on its way to Gainesville, Florida. Quote, I think he's going to be in Gainesville. Taylor said on CBS Sports College Football Show. I've heard some things that he has already talked to the team that the Ole Miss players already know. And that's why everybody is so frustrated because it's a done deal. It just hasn't been announced yet. Rick Neuheisel echoed Taylor's claim. I follow that train, Neuheisel responded. I think Florida will be his destination. That's wild. And of course, you got Lane Kiffin and the Giants, right? And Cowherd brought this up. Very rarely does a college football coach crush at a school, and the school says, make up your mind what you're doing. That's what Ole Miss is doing with Lane Kiffin. I think Lane Kiffin should go to the pros. He's tapped out at Ole Miss. I don't think he's going to win a natty there, but I think he can win a bunch of games if he stays there. Giants fired Brian Daboll. By the way, Penn State may end up hiring him. If it's not the guy they got now, because they won a pretty good game. I mean, they beat Nebraska. I think this is interesting. Do I think he's going to the Giants? No, I don't. I don't. I don't. I'm not entirely sure Kafka may not end up being the guy there. But I think they're going to explore all kinds of possibilities with the New York Giants, including, but not limited to, John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin. I think they're going to explore whether or not they can get one of those two veteran guys away from the Ravens and the Steelers because they've been there forever. And a lot of people have wondered out loud, is it time for just a change up, right? Same old with the Steelers. 9-8, 10-6, back when it was 16 games, make the playoffs, get beat first round. Rinse, repeat. Ravens, make it to the AFC Championship game, maybe. Rinse, repeat. And then there's whatever in the hell is going to happen with the Buffalo Bills, which I got to tell you, after seeing the other night, I'm convinced. I've been talking about this for 2 years. I don't think Sean McDermott's the guy. That's neither here nor there. I think I think Lane's going to LSU. And that was, I actually was like, here's my evolution on this. I thought, oh, he's going to Florida. Because I thought it makes so much, a younger version. We got the young Spurrier coming in there, right? Hot shot, like Urban Meyer showing up, young guy. Here he comes. I mean, if I was Florida, I'd give him anything he wants. Anything he wants to get him down there. It feels wrong for LSU and Florida to be down this much. But Florida's been down a minute now. They've been down a minute now. All right, Joe Burrow and Ed Orgeron won a national title not too long ago. Florida's been down a minute. But now, after seeing how much money's getting thrown around and the roster commitments and all these sort of things, I think he's going to LSU. I think he's going to LSU. I think it's interesting that you got people reporting that the team already knows he's leaving and where he's going. So it's going to be interesting to see how they perform in the Egg Bowl. God, they got a ton riding in the college football playoff. They could win a national title. Why isn't Florida in an all-out Lincoln Riley, Dan Lanning? What are y'all doing? It feels like Florida's just sort of, are you resigned to win 8 games? Is that what we're doing in Florida now? Yikes. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.